As we enter the second quarter, we're seeing a little bit of volatility. A little bit. Talk about a lot of it. Today, jolts came in and sent the market lower, adding to some concern with our positions. If you're a holder of Apple or Nvidia, should you be concerned? Let's look at the charts. Since we're talking about two of the major tech names, it would make a lot of sense to look at the Qs first before we get into those individual names. As you can see, the Qs have been, or the NASDAQ ETF, QQQ, has been holding a very wide uptrend channel. Just extending out our charts, right? You could take the channel from this candle and call this like an oops candle, or if you really extend it wide, no matter what you do, clearly we are breaking some trend here. Now, we are hitting some support here on my volume node. I think that this is more important than holding an uptrend channel because this node right here is showing that price is very important according to the biggest group of traders. So this giant node is saying the majority of traders like QQQ at this level. This can be a major support area and sign a reversal with this breakdown in QQQ. Now, that will not be the fact, or this will break 437.21. That's when the bears will officially take over in this trend line and send the Qs lower to the 50-day moving average and then into this thin zone down to 427. Don't want to alarm anyone, just want to have a game plan. This has not happened yet, but if we start breaking those levels, it could. If we hold these levels, this can be considered, again, like we said at the beginning of the video, an oops candle and reverse back into this very wide uptrend channel in the NASDAQ. All right, so let's look at Nvidia because everyone is aching to know, should we head for the hills in this stock? Should we wait for a buy area? What are we going to do with Nvidia? So if you pull just a standard trend line, Nvidia is still holding despite its little breakdown here. We are holding support in this node, like we pointed out in the QQQ. Nvidia is holding a nice node as well, this volume right here. Technically speaking, you are at a precipice here in Nvidia because 872.92 or 871, right around this area, you are holding onto a thread. This is the final support for Nvidia. If we start breaking down, there is an absolute lack of volume to support price. So just like I said, how traders, when you see a big node like this means traders, they support price at these levels and most likely it will hold. If that starts to break, then the bears are taking over and people are jumping ship because they do not like Nvidia at these prices. So they don't want to trade it at these prices. And that's what can create this falling knife situation. I have more commentary on NVIDIA. We have a free newsletter. You can join right below. We send it a couple times a week. If you're more of a reader, not a visual, we do add some charts in there as well. But we do break this further down if you want to sign up for that and some more in-depth analysis. But for the video's sake, we got to jump on to Apple because Apple has started to show weakness in March. The market was absolutely ripping in March, but Apple, it wasn't the best of months for Apple. After it broke down, we did get a little bit of bid, rejected, see, right at this node here. And now we're breaking down again in Apple, even further more than we did in March. Right now, we have immense resistance around 170 in Apple, and holding that, we could push lower, and this thing will fall out of bed. So NVIDIA hasn't broken down yet. Apple has. I get a little weary to short something like NVIDIA because it has such a fan club. If it starts breaking those levels, I might look to be a buyer after the breakdown. But something like Apple that is so hated right now, right? NVIDIA got Apple's fans. So, you kind of had that shift from Apple to NVIDIA. So you don't have the love with Apple. It is breaking down these technical areas. As a shorter, I would consider shorting something like Apple and then waiting for NVIDIA to break down and buying it there. So I'm just going to pull a quick level in Apple if you are considering to short it. Your resistance right now is 170. It is holding that, and we're looking for a downside target of about 160 at least in Apple. So as a trader, I would be more interested to short something like Apple right now versus Nvidia. I'd rather wait for Nvidia to come in and then be a buyer there. If you want to trade alongside us, we offer a 1-week free trial in our service Trade to Close. Most likely be getting into a short in Apple today should it continue to hold these resistance levels with that target in sight at 160. If you guys are shorting Nvidia though, please let me know in the comments. That is ballsy, and I commend you. So I want to know how you do with that. All right, guys, we'll see what this market does. And if Nvidia does indeed drop, whew, I'll tell you, this is not going to be a fun April, that's for sure, unless you're a bear.